All right, I meant to do this video actually closer to the actual time jump, but I kind of forgot and life got in the way. So we're going to be ranking the Straw Hats. The tier list that I got here goes from triple S to C, and I'm going to attempt to try to like spread them out a little bit. Like, these are the Straw Hats. I love them all individually. I love them all as a group. I love their dynamics on their own and together. So it's not going to be easy to rank them anything less than A. But I'm going to try not to just have them all in the A tier. I'm going to try to break them up a little bit so they're ranked among each other. So C is not bad, B is not bad. It is just their place among the crew might lower them down, but they're still fantastic. So I'm only going to allow one in the triple S because that is just reserved for Luffy. We are putting Luffy all the way up there because power of friendship, love of my life, love this sweet, sweet boy. Monkey D. Luffy will fight a god to protect his crew and his friends and those he loves. So we love Monkey D. Luffy. Brook, I just haven't seen a lot of him. I'm really liking him. His fruit, the resurrection, his history with Laboon, his singing, and just this cold feeling I get when he fights is something I really like. But in combination with, I just don't see him as much as the other crew members. He hasn't had as many interactions, and the pervy panty jokes is kind of annoying, though he does have a lot of puns. I have to boost. I was almost giving him a B, but the puns. I can't put someone who does a lot of puns any lower than A. Usopp, I actually really like. So before the time skip, or even very close to the time skip, he was annoying me. I appreciate the coward in a group with a bunch of overpowered characters. It was frustrating, but I understood the purpose of it. You needed that voice of reason. You needed someone to genuinely be afraid for the situations that they were in. I loved how much he wants to be a warrior, and now that we're in the post-time skip, he's really developed into a better warrior and can stand on his own and has the technology and stuff in his arsenal to hold up. And I also love when he lies, like just being a good liar and telling a story and getting them into or out of situations. So even before the time skip, I would put him at least A, and he's higher than Brook. Chopper, okay, Tony Chopper. What can I say? He's adorable. I would have put him higher before the time skip, because before the time skip, I liked him as a doctor. I liked how he was, kind of didn't have that much confidence and could really be bashful, and you could really butter him up with just any amount of praise, and he's still like that. However, now after the time skip, he's really feeling a little bit more like a gullible child. So before time skip, he would probably be just below Usopp, but now I think I gotta put him in B. During his arc with the previous doctor and the Sakura cherry blossoms and protecting that flag and everything with his backstory, I loved him so much in that arc. Like, that was a solid A or S for that arc. But since then, I think he's dropped down in reference to the entire crew. Frankie. Water 7's coloring my judgment because he's going up in S. What can I say about Frankie? I love him. I love his enthusiasm. I love the Frankie pose. I love how over the top he is. He's a great fighter. I'm not a fan of like mecha anime, but yes, like put him in a mecha robot suit and I want to see how he upgrades it and what he's going to come up with, and just the nipple flashlights, or he has giant hands but he got little tiny ones for the fine shipwright movement. I liked how he can redo his hairstyle with everything. No, I love Frankie. I really, really, really love Frankie and his personality. Among the crew, how do I feel about his dynamic among the crew? He made their dream of that robot, so they tried to do it in Thriller Bark, like come together, like holding hands to make a robot, and he put Chopper as the head of the the captain during Fishman Islands of that robot. Like he's working to no, I'm almost tempted to drop him a little lower because in terms of dynamic, he doesn't have the same dynamic that Luffy has among with like say Nami or Zoro or even Sanji and even Robin. I would like to see him interact more personal one-on-one with the crew, but he was also there for Luffy going after, telling him to go after for his brother's devil fruit, is it fire, flame, something, that fruit in the arena with Dressrosa. So no, he's got a good dynamic with the crew, and his dream is just to see his ship sail to the end of the Grand Line and be the vessel of the Pirate King. No, I love Frankie. I'm not putting him down lower. I'm not doing it. Jinbei, my sweet darling boy Jinbei, protect Luffy during Marineford. Yes, S tier. Go above Frankie. Why won't you go above Frankie? Go. No, you're Frankie. Move. I love you, Frankie. I do, but Jinbei knocks Luffy out of his freak out in the post-war arc, giving him the comfort he needs, protecting him with his life, with his body, giving him blood in Fishman Island. This man, I love Jinbei so very much. He's right there. Nami, right under Jinbei, because I love the cat burglar Nami. Selfish is the wrong word, it is, but being able to manipulate for her own good and like getting money and just looking out for herself, especially in the beginning. She was really looking for herself, but really was trying to save her home island and doing whatever it took to survive and not trusting anyone, and then betraying pirates that she was stealing from, mostly stealing from pirates, and then finding the love and family with Luffy and crying, asking him for help. The dynamic between her and Luffy, I absolutely adore it. Should I put her higher than Jinbei? Probably should, but I can't. I can't put her higher than Jinbei. Definitely going to be higher than Frankie though, just because the interpersonal dynamics and how much she owes Luffy and how much Luffy loves her. Yes, no, that's perfect. Robin or Nami? Frankie, I can't have this many people in S, so I'm going to have to drop you down to top of A. I'm sorry about that. I just can't put everyone in S, because I will end up putting everyone up there in S. Robin or Nami? Who do I like more? I'm not allowed to say they tied. I am not allowed to say they tie. Backstory-wise, Robin's I want to live, and having turned herself over because she didn't want to live with herself if it meant eventually the crew coming to realize she wasn't worth it and betraying her because she would rather die than be a burden to them and live to see them betray her. And then when Luffy said that I understand who your enemy is, I know them well, and then shot down that flag or ordered Sniper King to shoot down the flag, it still hurt. Nami, I love you with all my heart and soul, I do, but that moment with Robin and how committed she is to the crew, seeing her go from just calling them Longnose and Navigator or Captain or, just seeing to call the first time she called them by name, my heart broke and it hurt. And I'm like, oh, she is finally a member of this crew, and how much she loved them and didn't betray them and sacrificed herself to protect them. I love Nami, I do, and everything with Arlong Park and her forgiveness of Jinbei and the Fishman later on in Fishman Island, but I can't in good conscience put her ahead of Robin. I can't do it. They are neck and neck, but Robin just ever so slightly bit more. In terms of fighting power, I like Nami's development a bit more. So she went from just being sneaky and running away and lying like Usopp to getting the weather baton thing that she can still fight with, but it was more of a party tricks, and then slowly seeing it upgrade and how it relate to her being a navigator and understanding weather patterns. I like her fighting style a lot more. But Robin, my sweet baby darling girl whom I love, she terrifies me with her powers. She's honestly terrifying. Snapping necks, growing arms into wings, and I love her fighting style as well. I just appreciate Nami's a little bit more, but background wise and relationship with the crew, I think I got to give it to Robin. All right, Sanji. I'm going to be nice and not put him in C. So we're putting him at the bottom because he feels like a predator. My favorite things about Sanji, and there are a lot of things I love about Sanji. Starting with his relationship and the dynamic with him and Zoro, I love seeing them interact. I love seeing them fight. I love seeing them bicker. I love seeing them argue. It is so entertaining, but seeing them work together and protect each other. And Sanji being the one who's at Thriller Bark and being like, don't take him, I'm going to be the protecting the future pirate king, take my life, saying like his life is worth less than or worth being sacrificed to protect both Luffy and Zoro and the rest of the crew. I love Sanji. I loved in Alabasta, where I completely forgot, same thing with Water 7, I completely forgot then and in Alabasta, where he wasn't with the crew and he would just suddenly be there to save the day, rescue them from the cage, or get on the train to save Robin. I love him just popping up out of nowhere and being like, I'm Mr. Prince, I'm here to save the day, you're the damsel in distress. When he does something like that, I do really love him. I especially love seeing him cook and the importance he puts on nutrition and never wasting food. And his backstory, is it the most hard, with the exception of Robin? Yep, with the exception of Robin, I think he got the backstory that hit me the hardest. Starving to death on an island, and this pirate that was responsible for putting him there had given him all of the food and was eating his own leg to survive, giving up his own dream to protect Sanji, and then feeling owed to him and working in that restaurant and never allowing someone to leave hungry. I loved it so very much. So it hurts to put him this low on the list. Before like Thriller Bark, he probably he would probably be right between Nami and Robin, where I'm sure he would love to be. Honestly, he would be up there in S. I might have had to knock Nami down to A if it wasn't for that other part of his personality. It's not enough for me to overlook. It's enough for me to ignore in the sense that I'm not going to hate his character because he has so many good moments as well, but those good moments do not override the creepy factor, the fact that I do not feel safe around this character, that this character is around the crew. Like, I know he's never going to betray them. I know he's never going to hurt them, but like, come on. On top of that, I really thought we were going to get some development with him because when he was on the islands with Iva and he was being attacked by more or less, I guess, I don't know if they're drag queens or the people that's been converted. Anyway, he's being pursued by unwanted attention that he doesn't want. You think he would get the hint, oh, this is what I've been doing to women all this time? Maybe I should stop that. But no, as soon as he gets away from them, it's immediately, hey, real women, let me go harass them the way I've been harassed for the past 2 years. Not drawing that connection. It just makes me dislike him even more. And then we have Zoro. Okay, Zoro, where are you going? I think I have to put Zoro right above Nami. Does that mean I have to put Nami down to A? I think I can have 4 and S. That's fine. That's completely fine. Zoro, I absolutely love him. I love how he's used the perfect amount. He's kind of a little bit on the stoic side where when he speaks, it is important. So when he speaks to Luffy about the importance of being captain and what it means to be captain, the hard decisions you have to make, and the importance of respect and keeping your word and having honor and an honorable fight. I love all of that when it comes to Zoro. His fighting style with the 3 swords, and then the way he can go so juvenile with fighting with Sanji, and how protective he is of his crewmates and willing to sacrifice himself to protect Luffy and the crew. Especially the nothing happens scenes where he doesn't want any recognition because he just did what was right, saying I willing to sacrifice his own dream if it meant protecting Luffy. And I adore that. I should put him higher for that moment alone. But I can't put him higher because of the how much Robin loves her crew and not wanting to live to see them betray her and the burn the flag, and I want to live. I can't put him higher because of that moment. And Jinbei saved him during Marine Fort, and snapping him out and being there in his grief after losing Ace. I can't put him higher than that. S is all really close. Yeah, I think I got no choice but to leave him there. I wish I could just have them all equally ranked. Like, I love all of these the exact same amount. Because I love them all for different reasons. I do. But I think this is going to be my final ranking. I don't think I got anything else to change. So, Monkey D. Luffy, love of my life. Love this man. Power of friendship. Will fight a god. Yes. Can't put anyone else up there. And everyone else is where they gotta be. Alright. Now we're going to talk about my hit list. So, the ones I despise and need to see die. So, got my little list here. Number 1, we have the Magma Bastard. No one is surprised. So he is number 1 on my hit list. I want to see this man die in the most painful way possible. So someone with water power should drench him to turn him into, like, solidify his magma into stone and then beat him to death and have him all cracked apart and then use those pieces, I don't know, to flush down the toilet, or maybe used for red ants to make a nest out of. I don't know, but he needs to die. Second place is literally every celestial dragon. Just the entire organization, group, family, all of them. That means Doflamingo is going to be on here twice, because he's also in that category, apparently. Blackbeard is number 3 on my hit list, so I still despise him. It's just I hate these other ones more, and that's really saying something considering Blackbeard betrayed Pops, and Pops is the absolute love of my life. I love Whitebeard more than any other character in the world. So I think I might love Whitebeard more than I love Luffy, and that is obviously saying a lot. So the fact that Blackbeard betrayed him and is only number 3 on my list, and also responsible for getting Ace killed, I despise Blackbeard. Only number 3, because the other 2 are just so much worse. Below him, we have Sabo's parents, and just the noble society in general. So they're on my list unless proven otherwise, unless they've demonstrated something that they're not terrible people. Doflamingo is only, technically he's up with the Celestial Dragon spot, but he's also got his own little spot right under Sabo's parents, just because I am not far enough into Dressrosa to accurately rank him yet. So right now I'm only basing this on the fact that he cut up my sweet darling giant back in the Marine Fort. Cat is attacking a shelf, so I need to get him out of the way. All right. After Doflamingo, we have the Admirals, because all of them are responsible for Ace's death, as well as insulting Whitebeard, whom I love, and the cat really is not cooperating today. Can you not? Yeah, between calling Luffy a child and insulting Whitebeard and their part in the Marine Fort, pretty much anyone who fought against Luffy in Marine Fort is on my list, so they're there specifically. Then we have Doberman, who said that they wanted to display Whitebeard and Ace's head to the public to show their victory. Yes, you specifically are on my list. Next we have Kaido. He's on this list for delaying Shanks and preventing Shanks from making it here to help save Ace. That is why he is on this list currently. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a big bad in the future. We're going after him after Dressrosa, I think. But I haven't met him yet, so I don't actually know. Again, there because he delayed Shanks. Rob Lucci remains on my list just because of how he treated Robin and the fact that he can live somewhere for years and work as a shipwright in Galila, there we go. That was bugging me. The fact that he could work with those people in Iceberg and just betray them and it mean nothing to him. This man's a sociopath. But I do love him as a villain because it looks like he was born and raised and trained to be one and manipulated by the government, and just he enjoys being a hired killer with no empathy. So yes, I love him as a villain, but man, is this man on my list. And the final one on this list at the bottom, because he's so pathetic, is just that leader of CP9, just because of how he treated Robin. So he's on my list, but there are just a lot of worse people than him right now. On hold from my list is Garp, because we're still waiting to see how Luffy responds. I have not forgiven him. I understand his reasonings. I just don't care. I hate this man, but again, I will wait for Luffy's decision on how to proceed concerning Garp. And also on hold is Big Mom, just because she took over Whitebeard's territory and demanded sweets, and then threatened to destroy Fishman Island. And she's just not officially on my list because she's only made threats. I haven't seen how she interacted with Luffy yet, but she'll probably make my list, and I will enjoy seeing Luffy utterly destroy her. I hope. She is an emperor, so I don't know how that's going to go. 2 people have been removed from my list. Crocodile, love him. He was on my list for how he treated Vivi and Alabasta as a whole, and just destroying that kingdom and trying to cause the revolution and overtake it. Hated him for that, but he redeemed himself in my eyes with Marineford, so love him for that. Will forever be grateful in how he defended Luffy. So until he once again tries to kill Luffy, I love him. And the other one removed from my list is Kuzan, just because he left the Admirals when Magma Bastard took over, and that makes him alright in my opinion. He was already not 1,000% firm on the list just because of his protective nature and how he helped Robin escape, so he was penciled into my list because of the Marineford incident, but when he left fighting Magma Bastard, he removed himself from my list completely, so there's that. All right, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you later. This has been fun. Bye.